We already saw the Hyundai Staria Premium 7-seater as well as a Hyundai Staria GLS 11-seater. But what if you need something in between? Well, lo and behold, what we have right here is in fact something in between. This is the Hyundai Staria Premium 9-seater. In this video, let's see if this is still deserving of that premium name as the 7-seater, and if it is, well, any good, and if you should consider it over the 11-seater and the 7-seater. Now let's explore the exterior of the Hyundai Staria Premium 9-seater, and as to no one's surprise, probably it looks exactly the same as the Hyundai Staria 7-seater Premium. And what do I mean by that? You still get that same very nice DRL that spans the entire width of the front end. You still have the same rose gold accents from your Hyundai badge to this grille up front, including that front splitter right there. You still have the headlamps mounted down below with a lot of these like nice cube patterns on it, and you still maintain the same rose gold two-tone painted 18-inch rims, this rose gold painted side mirror cap, as well as the rose gold door handles. Now let's check out the back and see how different it is. Now spot the difference here at the rear. So what's the difference between this 9-seater and the 7-seater? Well, absolutely nothing too. So you still have that rose gold accents there by the diffuser by the bottom. You still have the rose gold Hyundai logo, as well as the pixel-like tail lamps, which are LEDs too. Now, once you open up this tailgate, it's also powered, so we really need it powered because this is really long. And just like the Hyundai Starex before, as well as the Hyundai Staria 7-seater, if you do slide all the seats all the way to the back, well, you don't really have any cargo space anymore. But this has a modular concept anyway, all on rails, so you can really adjust this. You can trade some space of passengers for some extra cargo room. So this will really teach you how to budget. In this case, it's not money, it's about space and cargo space. So powertrain-wise, it's exactly the same still as the Staria 7-seater. What you have here still is a 2.2-liter turbocharged diesel engine making a very respectable 177 horsepower and 430 Newton meters of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic. And this is a very responsive engine. I really love how this engine responds. It feels very modern, really. And in terms of fuel economy too, it also feels very modern because you'll be returning around 7.7 kilometers per liter inside the city, and this is with pretty heavy city traffic, and 16.8 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now moving inside the Hyundai Staria 9-seater, first we check the door. Sounds about okay. So the interior of this vehicle is pretty similar to that of the Hyundai Staria 7-seater. The main difference you'll notice here is instead of getting Nappa leather seats, you only get regular leather seats. But honestly, do you feel the difference with it? Aside from it being slightly less soft, honestly, no. They feel pretty similar overall, and they look pretty similar too. You still get the same 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, as well as the same center stack right here, which does come with an 8-inch touchscreen that has Apple CarPlay, which is wireless, and Android Auto, which is wired. And it even has a reverse camera, which is pretty clear. And what I really love about this is that this entire panel for your AC module, they're all physical buttons, so even if you're driving along, you won't get distracted. I think a lot of cars, all cars should have something like this instead of the manufacturers forcing you to go into your screen and configure a lot of things. This is also where you'll be able to access your heated and ventilated seats, as well as your drive modes, which by the way does come with the normal, eco, and sport mode. Now, the steering wheel is also exactly the same. You even get the same paddle shifters. You still have your buttons for advanced driver assistance systems, and it is still tilt and telescopic. Also, the amount of storage is equally as many. So you have here at the dashboard 1, 2, and your regular glove box. And if you look at your doors too, there are massive bins over there. You have a cup holder here on top, and here by the center, you have 2 additional cup holders and a ginormous area to put practically anything. Oh, did I mention there's even an extra cup holder right here? So you will never ever run out of cup holders inside your Hyundai Staria, whether it's the 7-seater or the 9-seater variant. The seats are also power adjustable for both the driver and the passenger side, and the passenger side seat even comes with these like switches here that you can easily access as a driver. That way, if you're carrying your VIP at the back, you can electrically move these seats or this seat for them, and that way they don't really have to fumble around with anything. So maybe they'll increase your salary too. Oh, also you do get a Bose sound system in here, so that's always a plus. Now that we're here at the back of the Hyundai Staria 9-seater, you can really see the biggest difference between the 7 and the 9-seater. Obviously, there are 2 extra seats right there, a pair of captain seats, right? But that's not just it. Because in the 7-seater, you do have powered seats with an Ottoman function. Meanwhile, this one, well, you don't really have it. You do still maintain heating and ventilation for the seats though, but yeah, there's no Ottoman nor a power recline. However, what you do gain here though is a swiveling function, which I shall demonstrate right now. And you just do this and you can actually swivel the chair. Wrong side. Let's go the other side. Just like that. Okay, and with this swiveled setup, you do have to face the back, obviously, right? And I have to be very honest, I'm not exactly a big fan of it because I do get kind of nauseous, but I mean, you can still have a conference here or whatever. If you are really into this, well, then at least you do have that option. Now, if we do put this back in the regular position though, and for everyone from this second row all the way to the 4th row to be comfortable, you do have to kind of slide the seat a little bit forwards, which it's still pretty comfortable, just not, you know, luxurious feeling. And now we can move on towards this next row of seats. And yes, I still have about 4 or 5 inches of legroom right here. And if I move even further back, well, right here I have still another 3 inches of legroom or so. But this presents a very, very big problem. You see, there at the back, the cargo area, the cargo capacity is now non-existent. So if you're looking to ferry 9 people often, sure, that's fine. But if you need to ferry 9 people with lots of luggages or lots of luggage, well, maybe the Hyundai Staria 9-seater is not the van for you. You do still get your 2 cup holders there, you still get your 2 USB-A ports there, you still have air vents all over, including here at the last row. You still have your own climate control system, you still have these shades over at the side for both the 3rd and 4th row as well as the 2nd row. And you even do get ambient lighting in here. Plus, you still do get to enjoy that Bose sound system. But if you notice on top, unlike the 7-seater, you do lose out on that panoramic sunroof. So now we drive the Hyundai Staria 9-seater Premium. And driving this is obviously pretty similar to the 7-seater, which we were able to drive a while back. If you want to see that video, well, you can simply click up here. Anyway, driving this really, it is pretty comfortable for a van. Usually a lot of the vans in this class, they tend to be a lot bouncier, they tend to be a lot floatier, but in the case of the Staria, it's a little bit more on the firm side, which is both a good and a bad thing. Good thing because it will make you throw up less, but you know, bad thing is if you're really into a very, very plush ride, well, this is probably not the van for you. If you do take this out on twisty roads, on long distance roads, Baguio, Tagaytay for example, this is probably the better option though compared to, let's say, the likes of the Toyota Hiace. Now with that said too, the 2.2 liter diesel engine, it's pretty powerful, and especially when it comes to the torque, I really like the torque pull that it has. And because of the fact that you do have an all-wheel drive system, it really puts the power down on the road pretty well, even if you're in slippier situations. Once again, if you are going mountain roads, for example, and you know there's a lot of rains, you're going to be a lot safer with this one, and it's going to be able to put down all that torque safer and more effectively too. Now, if there's any difference I've noticed between this 9-seater and the 7-seater, it would be how quiet it is. Because the 7-seater is very quiet. Yes, wind noise and tire noise was okay. However, because this doesn't come with a panoramic sunroof, it's actually a little bit quieter because you do have less glass, and instead you do have more metal right here. So that's a good thing. And especially too when it's raining pretty hard, you don't hear a lot of that rain droplets that gets really annoying here inside the cabin. That aside, again, steering is the same. It's still pretty light. It's still pretty direct for a van. And more importantly, and oddly too, handling is still the same, which means it's pretty good for a van too. You'll be pretty surprised at how a van this big handles. It's really not bad. Oh, steering too is also more than direct enough, so you can actually have a lot of fun with this. If you do watch a lot of those videos in Japan where they be drifting Hiaces, for example, well, maybe in the future they should be drifting these Starias. that's a point to consider. Another thing I really enjoy with the Hyundai Staria would be its advanced driver assistance system functions, especially its adaptive cruise control, which is incredibly smooth, and its traffic jam assistance and lane keeping assist, because it really keeps you at the center of your lane. You could be going on the Skyway, for example, Skyway Stage 3 with a little bit tighter bends right there, and it can still follow the road without you really having to touch the steering wheel too much. Needless to say, you still do have to touch it once in a while to let the car know that you're still there, but yeah, it really does alleviate a lot of the fatigue when you're driving long distances. So at the start of this video, we asked if this Hyundai Staria 9-seater Premium is deserving of the premium name. Well, I would say yes, because it is practically similar in terms of amenities as the 7-seater. But now the question is, should you buy this over the 11-seater or the 7-seater? Well, if you're looking for something that's very premium, something to really carry around VIPs 99% of the time, this is not the car for you. Simply get the 7-seater. But if you're gonna be ferrying around a lot of people on a daily basis, for as long as they don't have any cargo with them, this car is perfect. But if you really need, well, 11 seats, and obviously no choice, you do have to go for the 11-seater variant. But with all that said, how much does this car cost? Well, you can get the Hyundai Staria Premium 9-seater for 2,830,000 pesos, or around 200,000 pesos less compared to the 7-seater. And at that price, I think you're getting a fair enough deal, because you practically just lost on the Napa leather seats, which don't really feel that much different, the panoramic sunroof, which ended up adding extra noise into the cabin, and the Ottoman function there at the second row. And yet, you gain 2 extra seats and swiveling seats at that.